Let's see if it works. We shall see. Come on, OBS, don't let me down. It's not doing anything. Oh man, that's a bad sign. All right, let's try again. Let's close it and reopen it and see if it works. YouTube chat. It's not doing anything. Why is it not working? I don't know why it's not working. I should restart OBS. Is that really gonna help me? It might. Hey, I think it might be working now. Hey, look at that. It's very nice. I think it's working. Hang out here for a second. Squeaky, you gotta take it down a level. Please. I can appreciate that you're a pain in the butt. All right, I gotta set up some cameras again. That's my main camera. I had to restart OBS. My YouTube chat was not working for some reason. I had to just reset the whole thing. That looks okay. How does my other camera look? I think that probably looks okay. Yeah, that looks okay. All right, excellent. All right, I think we're in business. Hey, wee. All right, cool. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the show. We're gonna talk about cool stuff today, I suppose. We'll answer questions and stuff. Apparently, Cynthia Williams quit or got asked by the board of directors to resign, or she knew that next week's quarterly earnings report wasn't going to be that hot, so she's decided to dip out before the bad news hit, and hopefully be able to sell off her stock options before the stock tanked. I don't know. Who knows? It's all speculation at this point. And every YouTuber and his brother is rushing to put out a video, so I figure I probably should talk about it, something, and stuff. It would probably be pretty fun, you know, but I'm not going to scramble to put out a formal video because who cares, man? It's a throwaway content. We'll talk about some gossip and industry news, I suppose, and have some fun with it. I found an interesting Reddit forum. There was a subreddit, a Reddit post of a bunch of people saying some stuff, which I thought was pretty funny. We're probably gonna read through some of that tonight. I was like, before the stream, I was lying in bed, just kind of relaxing to, you know, just kind of chill out a little bit. And I was just like reading this subreddit about people talking about Cynthia quitting and stuff. And it was very nice. It was informative. It was very informative. We're going to read that. We're going to look at that. So yeah, but they were just hanging out tonight. It'll be fun. Yeah, there's some wild speculation going on right there. No. Yeah. And there's some stuff I'm not going to comment on, even though I have opinions. I'll tell people in private my opinions, but I got cat hair all over my desk. Of course I do. Okay, let's do our stuff. Oh, you know what I have to do? I have to tell my Discord that I'm live, so I need to go share this on my Discord. Stand by. Let's go spam everybody on Discord. Videos and streams. Here, you can watch me spam them. Let's go over here. Watch me spam everyone. Okay. Tonight on the stream, we are discussing Cynthia Williams' glorious retreat from the world of D&D and MTG. Just in time, just before quarterly earnings are released next week. All right. And go. Let's put a link to the stream right there. Excellent. All right, we'll just do a little spam action. Whee! There we go. All right, cool. Get that out of my face. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's do our stuff, and then we'll jump into it. But did they destroy her phylactery? No, of course not. She will resuscitate whatever she will. I don't know what the term is when the lich is killed and then it pulls itself back together again in its phylactery or near its phylactery. Like, that's gonna happen. It'll be at a Fortune 500 company in the US. She'll have a job in about a month or two, and she'll be at the head of a different company. I mean, that's the way these things work, you know? And she'll probably have no experience doing whatever that company actually does for their main line of business. Like, just as she had no experience for D&D or Magic the Gathering. So, but she'll go over there, and she'll probably take her Pinkerton friends with her or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know, it'll be nice. We can watch from the sidelines as she destroys another company or something. I don't know. It'll be fun. Few $1 million to shake things up a little bit. It's pretty slick deal. All right, so yeah, okay. So first things first, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a Kickstarter going on right now. Layers and Legends 2 is our Kickstarter. If you have not checked this thing out, you should go take a peek at it. 2 big, fat, huge honkin' books, over 300 pages each. Over 600 pages of total content, probably pushing 700 plus pages of content that you can use in your 5th edition games. Adventures, one of these books, Layers and Legends 2, is filled with adventures. We have over 30 adventures spanning levels 1 to 20 with awesome new monsters in them, and the monsters are in the bestiary in Lair and Loot and Lore 2. We have over 100 new monsters in there, some crazy awesome killers to present your wonderful players with. And then we got puzzles, we got traps, we have standalone encounters, we have beautiful maps in there from our cartographers. We have a bunch of magic items in there, just tons and tons of cool stuff that you can drag and drop into your games. So there you go, go check that out. There's a link down in the description and stuff where you can check out the Kickstarter. We're about halfway through the Kickstarter, roughly, and we're getting very close to our next stretch goal. And our next stretch goal is to unlock, what are we unlocking? More puzzles, that's right. At 225K, we unlock more puzzles. So go over there and help us unlock the puzzles. You know you want, I mean, there are already puzzles in the book, but you know you want more puzzles because those are the things that are a pain in the butt to make. Because we have players that want puzzles, and you know, some of us are like, I'm not good at puzzles, and we just want to take something and throw it in the game. So there you go. We're gonna make a bunch of puzzles for you. It'll be fun. It's Marquine, it's supplementary. They're brand new monsters. Everything in Layers and Legends 2 and Loot and Lore 2 is brand new. Like Marquine is asking, we also have Layers and Legends 1 and Loot and Lore 1. Those are the first books we made. We made those a couple years ago. And everything in this new Kickstarter is brand new content. It's all new. It's all new. So if you've already used the old stuff or you have the old books, you can go get more stuff, more cool stuff to use in your games. And we have exclusive, like Kickstarter exclusive pricing right now. We are literally bundling together like a bunch of stuff into the tiers and crap. So you get like tons of bang for your buck that you're not going to get after the Kickstarter. So like now's the time to, you know, get all the cool stuff bundled and thingy bobber. So go check that stuff out. And all right, what else we got going on? So we are raising money for a charity. Let's go over to here. There we go. So we're raising money for the City Rescue Mission of Lansing. This is a homeless shelter. They give housing. I think they have close to 100 rooms, and they give food, obviously, to folks who need it. And they literally, recently, I support them personally every month with my own money. And I got a newsletter from them a couple months ago, how they recently bought a couple new buildings nearby so they can expand to help even more people. So if you would like to help donate to what they're doing, you can do so 2 ways. You can obviously go directly to their website, which is linked down below, or you could donate through tipping to me, and then once we hit our goal of $500, I will send them $500. And you can see over that side of the screen, there is a big red bar, this big bloody red bar that shows our tipping goal of $500. And you can see that we've only reached $30 of our $500 goal. So if you could help me look like not quite as much of a loser of not being able to raise money for this awesome charity, that would be awesome if we can get that up to like a little bit higher today. Otherwise I'm like, I'm a failure, go cry in a corner. But anyway, we're gonna get them some money, and I'm not worried because I give them money every month anyway, so they get some money. But the more we can give them, the better, the more people they're gonna help. And what else we got going on? Oh, we have a giveaway going on. We have a giveaway as usual going on, so you can go, what is this? Remind self to not use adult language. Yes, don't use adult language on the stream. Nightbot, our chat moderator, is like very mean. Some folks are getting smacked down in the last stream. But yeah, don't use adult language. You know, like F-bombs are probably not gonna fly very well. What was I gonna say? Yeah, we have a giveaway going on, so you can get $50 store credit on the DM Lair store. And we will draw the winner to that giveaway tonight. Now we have a bunch of digital content over there, but we now have reprints back in stock. So we have 2 books over there. Let me just go over to our site. I'm gonna show you. We have 2 crazy selling books that we sold out of, and I gotta go over there to show you these stupid things. Squeaky, you gotta take it down a level. You wanna come up here? Come on, you big baby. You see, this guy's nuts. He's bugging me. He wants to come up here. There you go. Get your big tubby butt up here. Jeez, man. Okay. So, where is this stupid thing? There's the button. Ooh. All right. So, let's see. These books right here are Layers and Legends, Loot and Lore. These guys sold out. These 2 books right here completely sold out. Can't see the covers. Whatever. Those completely sold out, and then also we sold out of Into the Fae as well. Into the Fae is our level 1 to 5 adventure module. So that one and Layers and Legends totally sold out, and we were empty for like 4 months or something, and we just got the reprints in. They are now stocked on the store. Once again, you can go grab them and stuff. But if you win the giveaway tonight, you could use that $50 store credit to get these books if you'd like. So there you go. There's always that. All right. And now we're going to do our patron shout out. All of these wonderful folks you see listed on screen. Some of their names didn't come through correctly, but that's exactly how it shows up in Patreon, so I can't do anything about that. Some of these wonderful folks, all of these people you see on screen are our wonderful, awesome patrons. They help support all the content we create, such as this live stream, all of our free videos that give Game Master advice to help you in your games. Every single week, another video comes out. Ideally, the idea is to help you as a Game Master learn some things, improve, that kind of stuff and whatnot. They help support that. Deeply appreciative. They also get Lair magazine, which is tons of 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 resources every single month, over 50 pages, usually around 60 pages of content every single month that they can use in their games. Actually, we have a separate adventure. Some of these patrons get probably closer to 75 to 80 to 90 pages. I mean, it varies every month, but we put out a crap ton of content every single month for our patrons. And these folks get that and use it in their games probably. So anyway, thank you patrons for your support. Do appreciate it. And these folks right here support at a higher level. And so where's my button? I lost my button. These guys get their names read out loud. And let's go. Aaron H, Agile M, Alex S, Alexander O, Alithana, Alan D, Alithina, Amanda W, Ambers, Angelique K, Anton K, Art Soccer, Ashley, Alucas, Beavis Con, D's in Space, Ben D, Black Wolf, Bradley H, Brandon P, Brian D, Brian O, Brian the Lion, Brian J, Carl C, Catic Wolf, Christine B, Christopher G, Clay W, Colette H, Colin W, Connor D, Contrary Gravy, Corey A, Courtney H, Kuan B, Dara T, Dazzled Up, David B, David S, Deadwolf 85, Dalen W, Dean B, Derek E, Dice Goblin Wannabe, Don D, Draxus, Dreams Gone, Dungeon of Terra, Ed R, Edward B, Edward L, and Frabo, and Dorian 72, Eric B, Forest Brew, Gabriel T, Gene A, Gene W, George E, George R, Greg P, Guapo, Gubin, GVTM, Heart U, HLD Important, Iron Cascade, Jackie Pizza, Jacob H, Jacob K, James L, Jeff S, Jeremy W, Jaharig, Jim P, Joanne P, Joel H, J, don't bite me, John, John B, John D, John the Wicked, John Pinkanos, Jonathan F, Jonathan S, Jonathan V, Jordan, Jordan A, Jose B, Joseph H, Josh M, Josh S, Juan, Justin J, Kevin W, Killsaber K, Kirby, Kitty Stalker, Laura L, Laser, Scion, Leonhardt, Linda, Loki, Lord H, Lieberclaw, Matlock, Macy S, Mama D, Marcel V, Marcus, Martin E, Master New, Michael, Matthew C, Meepy, Michael S, Michelangelo, Mika, Mirostal, Mitchell, Mo20s, Mordakin, Morganth, Morvey, Nerd Over 9000, Nicholas S, Nick H, Nostramo, Old Man Mage, Oleg, Patrick D, Paul C, Paul C, Paul S, Pethnick, Pivo, Porkchop Bacon, Puppet Master, Randall C, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Richard M, Robert C, Robin B, Wolf of Combat, Wolp L, Ross A, Ryan, Saul AR, Sakura, Samantha J, Sarah H J, Sarah P, Scott C, Scott R, Shadow, Shane L, Sean the Ice I, Simfan, Solnias, Stephen G, Stephen T, Steve S, Sturb, T Warner, Tabletop Nerd, Taliana, Therese T, Terry V, the old DM, the Diabolical DM, the Jackal, the Dice Dragon Wand, the Dice Dragon, the Fuzzle, the New Bad Ombre, Thomas F, Thor J, TK, Tom B, Tom's T, Travels T, Trinity S, Tyler D, Tyler R, Valagor, Victoria Q, Vladimir S, Volhoff, Valez, Will Leslie K, William C, X Redrum, Zombie Trami. Bam. All right, sweet. Woo. Yeah, the kitty of biting, no kidding. Butthead. Oh, he's just jealous because he's not center of attention. That's right, I'm jealous. As a self-admitted probably grog nerd, why those youngins hate modules so much? I don't know that they do. Do they hate modules? I don't know. I'm not aware of this hatred toward modules. Are sales of modules down? I mean, that's one of the primary things that like Wizards of the Coast and other developers create are modules with like adventures and stuff in them. So I mean, if that's one of the things a lot of people make, they gotta sell. Otherwise, people wouldn't make them. Like that's business, right? You don't make it unless you sell it. And if you're not selling it, remember the days when Ed timed Luke? Yeah, but there's way too many for me to read now for it to be timed. It's gonna take me a few minutes no matter what I do. Yeah. My players are convinced that a prominent NPC is a dragon in disguise. Cool. Their perception of reality may not reflect reality. He wasn't at first, but it's such a great idea that I want to make that happen. It's a good idea to play into that. You can do whatever you want. I've played into things like that before, and I've ignored them like that before. Either way is cool. Either way, your players will have a fun surprise. They will either feel like, you know, what would it be? Not vindicated, but they'll feel like, oh, we were right, you know, when they find out that it is a dragon. We were right, yes, you know, or when they find out it's not a dragon in the disguise, they'll be like, oh, well, we got that wrong. But you might be able to make it even better with a twist. Instead of having it be a dragon in disguise, have it be something else in disguise. And then they then they feel a little bit like, oh yes, we were right, kind of, but it was actually this, you know. I don't really care what your problem is tonight. I give you attention every single day, all day long. Now is the time for me to talk to that camera right there. And you gotta get that through your head, okay? Yes, get it through your head. Okay, you done? Are you done? Okay, that's right. You butthead. I don't want my attention. Butthead. I would do whatever you want, dude, you know. But I definitely don't always lean into what my players think is true. Sometimes they're just wrong and they should be wrong. Other times you can, you know, whatever. It's all good. He wants catnip. Oh, I'll give him some catnip later. Rashaka. That's a twist. Yes, the kitty cats. What is the question? So my DM is using AI to generate our campaign like real time. While interesting in a speculative way, I fear the worst is to come. What would you do to communicate your concerns? I don't know what are the concerns? So there's only one. So like, I don't know what your concerns are exactly, you know. But if I had concerns, I would talk to my game master. That's what I would do. Like whatever my concerns are, I would talk to the game master, and I would probably try to do it in person verbally as opposed to email or text or something. So that's how I would communicate my concerns. Whatever your specific concerns are, I would just talk to them. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Very direct, you know, get to the point. Yeah. But that is super interesting. Like, so you're running the game, and you're playing the game, they're typing stuff in, and they're having AI spit crap out at them. That's super interesting. I have found that AI is at best good for brainstorming some ideas and stuff, but you gotta filter it through a human brain. Otherwise, you get some pretty trashy crap. My players bought a tavern in a big city. They use it as a base. Since then, they made a lot of powerful enemies. So, what would you say if these enemies attack and destroy their tavern or base? You got to be careful with that, right? Because your players bought it. It's theirs, right? And yes, 100% totally realistic. They go off. The enemies know they went off. The enemies come and they attack it. They destroy it. Understood, right? 100% can definitely happen. The problem is that at that point, your players didn't have even a chance of stopping it, right? They basically just, you're gonna keep biting me, huh? You're gonna keep biting me? I'm gonna rough you up, you turd. Oh, I got roughed up. I'm gonna bite you now. Your players don't have any chance of stopping their tavern from getting destroyed by the enemies. That just feels cheap, right? And slimy. And your players are probably not going to be happy about that. There's just no way around it. You know, it's like, just, you might as well just kill off all their families while they're at it. Oh yeah, the bad guys killed all your families too, and you had no chance to stop them. Oh man. Yeah, they're just killing everybody, and you guys don't have any chance. No. You got to give them a chance. So if you want the bad guys to target their home base or their properties or something, you got to give your players a heads up. They get, you know, one of their contacts or something gives them warning. Hey, we heard that something's happening. Somebody's going to target your tavern or something. And then your players have to have a chance to intercept, stop the bad guys, defend the tavern, you know, and that could be a fun adventure, you know, defending your tavern. Like, how many times in a D&D game do we get to defend a place from an enemy attack, right? It's like the reverse of what we normally do. So I don't think that I would just be like, it's wiped out, it's gone. You got to give them a chance to defend it, to stop the bad guys, to do something. Because if you don't, it's just underhanded, a little slimy, and I can't imagine very many groups would be okay with that. Like, they might just be like, oh, that sucks, and not say a whole lot. But I think underneath, they're probably going to be pretty upset that their game master just destroyed their tavern that they bought. You know, and we're working hard to do whatever they wanted to do, use it as a home base or something. So, you know, you got to be like, you got to make sure you keep the blows, the blows above the belt, you know, and that is a low blow. that's like grab him by the shoulders, knee him a couple times, elbow in the face, you know, and throw him on the ground, you know. So yeah, I wouldn't do that. You got to keep it fair. All right. Yeah, it's going to be a lot more fun, too, if you give them a situation where they could stop the bad guys from taking out their tavern. way more fun, way more interesting, more drama, you know, more suspense, more tension, way more interesting. It's the dramatic question, right? Can the heroes stop bad guys from destroying their base, right? Whereas if you just wipe it out, it's just like, oh crap, it just happened. Well, I guess we'll get revenge now. So. All right. Well, let's talk about, I think I got most of the questions that I saw in the chat, at least the ones that I saw. So let's talk about the Cynthia Williams things. So yeah, we should probably talk about that really quick. So I've seen some people have been putting out YouTube videos on Cynthia Williams quitting. They're usually like 10 to 15 minutes long. I'll tell you what we know. Cynthia Williams has quit. That's all we know. See, that was like 5 seconds to tell you what we actually know. Dang. But you can't put out a 5-second video, you know, you gotta make it longer. You gotta speculate or something, or fluff it up, you know. But anyway, that's what we know. She's quit, and they don't know who the replacement is. So what's the speculation? So was she fired? Probably, or she was recommended to step down. Now I heard that Hasbro's quarterly earnings statement comes out next week, so it's also possible that she was privy to that statement and she's like, I'm out of here. I'm gonna peace out before her last day is the 26th. Oh, is it the 26th? Okay, when does their quarterly statement come out? Does anybody know? When does their quarterly statement? Hasbro 2024 quarterly reports. When do those come out? They gotta have dates for those things. Dun, 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 dun. How do you find that? Can anybody do a Google? Does anybody have better Google foo than me to find out when their quarterly reports come out? Because I know the quarter just ended, you know, last month. But if anybody's able to figure that out when they're supposed to come out. So anyway, but she's out. So the 26th is their last day? Okay, cool. So anyway, we don't know who's going to replace her. You know, it'll be some executive from another company, almost assuredly. Hasbro will, you know, sweet talk somebody into coming over and taking over the reins, and they'll give them a few $1 million in stock options to do it. And they'll probably have never played D&D before or Magic the Gathering. But they'll know something about microtransactions and monetization and mobile gaming and that sort of stuff. They'll know about that digital stuff because that's the company's current direction. So they'll definitely bring in somebody that knows about that. I can't imagine why you wouldn't. Yeah. Oh, so here's some speculation. 1234 Uki says an employee at Wizards of the Coast is saying the losses are to such an extent that heads are going to roll. Do we know? Where's that coming from? Do we have any, like, is there a source on that or something? Oh, it's every 3 months, so 2 more months. Oh, I had heard that the 24th is the quarterly earnings report. Would I rather fight 100 goblins or 10 hill giants? 10 hill giants, because I'm sure I could outrun them or hide from them. 100 goblins would be terrifying. No, executives always land on their feet. They've got golden parachutes. They've got the money, baby. No matter how much, you have to really do a train wreck to not get a new position at a different place. Like, she'll be fine. People, the C-suites, they almost assuredly are going to be fine. No matter how much they run a company into the ground, they're probably going to be just fine. Yeah. They have ways of doing that crap, man. What were we talking about? Oh, so 1234 Uki says that they have a family member who works there. And then Goliath says the last report they released was their annual report, not their quarterly. It's released on a different cycle. Yeah, it would be interesting to know when their quarterly report comes out. Because is anybody able to figure out when their quarterly? Okay, so Goliath Cleric says April 24th is when they will release the report. Okay, so that's next week. What day of the week is April 24th? April 24th. It's Wednesday. Oh, cool! That's the day before my next live stream, which means at our next live stream we can talk about it. Okay. All right, and then 1234 Uki, dude, you need to be here at our next live stream, okay? Because we'll literally be able to, like, you're saying that the losses are so bad that heads are gonna roll. Well, we'll literally know, and then you can be there to tell us that you told us so. That'll feel awesome, dude. So, yeah, we'll find out next week how bad it is over there. I mean, I have heard that book sales are down, probably because they have a new edition coming out and people are waiting to either get the new edition or to confirm if the new edition will actually be compatible with the stuff they already have, you know, because that's one of the things that they've been telling us, but I just don't know that a lot of people trust them, you know. So Wizards of the Coast is telling us that the new edition, which is not a new edition, which was 1D&D, which is no longer 1D&D, which was going to be like, they keep changing the name of it, but now I believe, unless I'm behind, unless they've changed this subsequent to my last hearing about it, my understanding now is that it's called it'll be 2024 D&D, where what we have right now is 2014 D&D, and then it's 2024 D&D. So it's not a new edition or anything, and everything is backwards compatible and stuff. But I think that's what they're saying. But the thing is, they've been so deceptive about so many things that I just don't think a lot. You're gonna get it. I'm gonna rough you up. I swear, little fluffy bucket. They've just been so deceptive about stuff. I just don't think anybody trusts them. And so they're stopping to buy the books until they can actually get what they release and confirm that it actually works, you know? Is it? I don't read the playtest material. I haven't bought any of their books and I don't read their playtest material. So, So Bad Mojo is saying that if you read the playtest content, it's 100% compatible with the current edition. It's a simple revising and balancing into a 10-year-old game with some... Okay, well, but is it compatible with all of our modules that we have? Like, I have tons of modules that I've bought in, so if I get a new... See, this is the thing, like, is it really compatible with all the stuff I've bought? You know? Or is it... Or is the stuff coming out going to be... like all the classes and stuff going to be more powerful, you know, and have just be better overall, such that the things in the player handbook I have now are suboptimal, or even the things in Volos or Tasha's or Xanathars are suboptimal. And are the monsters that are coming out, are they just going to be like better or more powerful than the ones I have now? Like it's one thing to say it's compatible. There's another thing to say that it's usable with. And is there going to be like a reason to use what I have now? So I don't know. There's some different meaning, I think, to some of those things, you know. There is no sense for them to release an edition 100% compatible to 5th edition. What's the point? Oh, save face. Because they don't want to tell people it's a new edition. So another person is confirming that April 24th is when the next annual report comes out. Okay, that's cool. Panzer says, with all the buffs the new edition gives to classes, the modules are going to need some heavy revising. And that's my fear. That's exactly my fear. Like, you're not going to be able to use the books you have now without some tweaking. That's, yeah, for sure. Like Like even right now, monks needed the upgrade. Monks do not need an upgrade. I have a monk in my game right now. They don't need an upgrade. Monks are insanely powerful. Holy crap, man. Whoo, whoo. Oh. I think most people want a new edition. Or am I wrong? I mean, I mean, if you were to ask me whether I wanted a new edition or not, like what do I actually want? I am bored out of my mind with 5th edition D&D. Like the 2014 D&D, I'm done, man. I don't want to play it anymore. I'm done. Like my brain is just checked out. Like I think, me personally, I think a new edition would be pretty darn fine. Because geez, you got something new and fresh to do, and it's not the same old stuff I've been playing for almost 10 years now. I don't think I started exactly when it released, but it wasn't too long after that I started playing 5th edition. So yeah, man, I don't want to play 5th edition anymore. I want something new and fresh. It's just old and boring to me now, you know, and it's like, ugh. So I don't know what other people want. Like there's always the people that like it and they're familiar with it and they don't want to buy new books and they don't want to learn a new system. I get that, right? There's always a crowd of people that are like that, you know. But then there are some people that probably like me that have just played it so much that we're just burnt out on it and we just want to try something different, you know. So I imagine there's probably people that want a little bit of both, you know. They like the current edition, they want to keep it, and there's others that want something new and fresh, you know. So, but you know, it's interesting. It almost sounds like they're kind of doing a little bit of both. You know, they're giving the people that want something fresh something that is fresh, and yet it's still kind of compatible, apparently. So that the people who want to keep what they're playing right now kind of can. Except that if you allow players to pick classes from the new edition, I guarantee you that those classes are going to be more powerful than the core classes we have now. So I don't think it's going to be quite that easy, but yeah, I don't know. So Markeen, so you're asking about our Layers and Legends Kickstarter. And if we're going to make it for Pathfinder 2. The current one is not for Pathfinder 2. We're only doing it for 5th edition. We don't have the manpower to be able to do a Pathfinder 2. It's a lot of work and effort to do multiple versions of things. It is not a simple matter of converting from one to the other is not simple or straightforward. And furthermore, we're talking about, it's just a bunch of stuff. There's some lots of business stuff involved in that decision. So it's not super simple to do that. So for this one right now, it's just for 5th edition. When we do Layers and Legends 3, which will probably be next year sometime, that one we're planning on doing it for Pathfinder 2 as well. So that's the current plans for that. I also suspect that the new edition is going to have less steam after all the shenanigans they pulled. Oh yes, Critical Role moving away from D&D is probably going to be a pretty notable impact. Yes, yeah, I think that's probably part of it. I think, you know, this is what I think. I think Wizards of the Coast put a shotgun in their mouth and pulled the trigger with the OGL. And it didn't kill him, it came out like the side, so there's a gaping wound here, you know, and it's just a big bloody mess. But they screwed themselves over with the OGL big time because they caused lots of people to leave D&D, to try other games, and they started like a renaissance of sorts with lots of other game systems. And so now you have people departing from that game system and trying out new game systems. Like my home group that plays right here at that table right there, we play Pathfinder 2 now, and we're having tons of fun doing it. So, and lots of people are like that. They left and they've tried other things. Now, some people left and then bounced back and they kept on playing it. Sure, why not? You know, like they can do whatever they want to do. But there are lots of people that left and they're not going back and they've tried other things and they like them. They've gone on to Castles and Crusades or Dungeon Crawl Classics or Shadow Dark or Pathfinder 2, or you name your game system of your choice. There are lots of people that did that in the wake of the OGL, and that has caused Wizards of the Coast sales to probably suffer a bit because of that, you know, and there's probably going to be less excitement for the new edition that's coming out at the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So yeah, I think they did a lot of damage to themselves, and that was Chris Cox, that was Cynthia Williams. They hurt themselves a lot. They hurt themselves a lot with that decision. That was very, very bad call. Huge, massive bad call. And that is Cynthia Williams. That's all at her feet, you know. And I think a lot of people were saying that it was a Hasbro call, that maybe it was Chris Cox that decided to do the OGL thing. But Cynthia Williams was the CEO. Like, she's the head of Wizards of the Coast, and D&D's OGL was Wizards of the Coast. So, I mean, she was in on it as well. So, yeah, I mean, that was on her watch. So I'm absolutely positive that what happened with the OGL is a main factor in her leaving now. And you can rack up the other things. You can talk about the Pinkertons and the AI art stuff and all these other things, you know, the layoffs, crazy layoffs, which was, I mean, that was a Hasbro thing, but Wizards of the Coast is part of Hasbro, so I'm sure she was involved in that. And that's more like, that's like right before Christmas, so that's really bad publicity, bad press to do that. So I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff that you can lay at her feet, you know. The interesting thing is, I wonder if Chris Cox is going to come out unscathed, or are they just going to? Is Hasbro just going to gut the C-suite? You know, is it just going to be like, you know, line them up, ship them out? I don't know, because you got one, so it'll be interesting to see if others follow suit. I don't know, what is their stock looking like right now? Oh, let's look at their stock. Wizards of the Coast stock price. Oh, not Wizards of the Coast. It has to be Hasbro. Hasbro stock price. They don't. Wizards doesn't have a stock price. Hasbro stock price. There we go. Let's go over here. Here's our stock price. Let's do 1 month stock price. Oh, look at that. It bumped up on Monday, and then now it's coming down. Look at that. Woo! 58, and now it's down to like about 55 or so. Yeah. What's the 6 month stock price? Oh, it came up. Look at that. It's come up over the last 6 months. Look at that. It's come up a little bit. Woo, 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 woo. What about the last year? Oh my gosh, look at this rocket plummet. Right here. September of last year, it was like just a plummet. Hold on, what's the S&P 500 though? Let's compare this. Can you do a side-by-side comparison to the S&P 500? There's gotta be like a side-by-side. Oh yeah, here we go, compare. I wanna compare it to the S&P 500. There we go, okay. So S&P 500, no, this is interesting. Well, no. I mean, if you look at the S&P 500, it's just been steadily going up, you know, and Wizards kind of like, they were high and they dropped and then they kind of went back up again. And now they're kind of going down a bit. So it kind of still follows that trajectory, I suppose. It's not like super abnormal. So you could probably just say that their stock has been relative to the market mostly. I don't know. I'm not like a super professional stock person. I know just enough to do my dollar cost average investing every single week. You know, that's all I know. With Monopoly Go making something like $10 billion, he's probably safe. I've heard of Monopoly Go. I've never actually looked at it before. I am not into. I've tried cell phone games, and I can't do the cell phone games. Like, I can't handle the mobile games. Oh, my ring. The mobile games just want to like. If you just ask me to pay $25 for a mobile game and then have access to the content and be able to progress at a reasonable rate, I'd pay $25. But I'm not going to do this. Like, you'll start playing a game and it's kind of fun. And then all of a sudden, like, your progression just kind of like tanks and things get really hard. And then it's like, oh my gosh, you're like fighting uphill. And then you know that that's intentional. They want to get you hooked, and then they want it to get too hard. So you start paying money to get all these little improvements and stuff. And I can't do that, man. I don't know if I'm old school, if I just am too stingy and I don't want to give them hundreds and thousands of dollars every year. But like, I just want to pay 25 to 50 bucks for my game and then just have access to my content and be able to play the game and have fun. Like, that's what I want to do. And so these mobile games, I can't do that crap. It's not happening. Yeah. September 2022 was the Spelljammer release. I don't know. Can somebody confirm that? What did Wizards release in 2022 or in September of 2022? No, that was last year, wasn't it? That was last year, 2023. Yeah, I think it was last year. September of last year is. No, wait a second. Hold on a second. Year to date. No, it's February. There was a big tank. Year to date, 1 year. Come on, man. Where was it? Yeah, September. It was September to October of 2023 is when Hasbro's stock tanked hard. Oh, this is interesting too, because if you look at this, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. If you look at this, like the S&P 500 was just kind of trucking along, kind of normal, you know. That's the red line. And then Hasbro was like, whoop, and then plummet, bottom out, plummet. Like, does anybody know what happened right there? It was September was at their peak, and then they trucked out at November. They just plummeted. It was a dead fall. It was a free fall. Woo, until they crashed the bottom. Does anybody know, was there a product release? Was something crazy going on there? Does anybody know? And this is Hasbro, right? So Hasbro in general. I'm interested to know if somebody can put a correlation there, if we can figure something out. I have a player that likes to craft and upgrade gear. I'm about to run my first campaign. I'm not sure how to handle this. I want to keep homebrew to a minimum. Then just tell them. Just tell them you don't want to do that. You don't have to do it. There's nothing, Bree, there's nothing that says you have to do that because your player likes to do it. Like, you might have a player who, like, you know, loves to have 1,000 summons at once, and you're not running your game that way. You just tell them that, hey, I know you like doing this thing, but that's not something that's going to be part of this game, you know, and I hope that's okay with you. I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, if you don't want to have a bunch of homebrew crap, you know, and frankly, even if you are gonna craft and upgrade gear and play that little mini game, that's something you want to do offline, away from the game table, because that's the type of thing that can eat up tons of game time with one player doing all that stuff, you know, and then everybody else is just kind of like, well, because most people don't care about that crap, right? They just want to play the game. So that's the type of thing you probably want to try to handle offline, you know, away from the game table, in between your sessions, if at all possible, anyway. Monopoly Go is a one-button game with zero strategy, perfect for bottom feeders. So it's doing very well. I'm playing a game. No, they aren't. So that is when Spelljammer was released? Are the cats indoors only? Yeah, my cats don't go outside. My cats don't go outside. It was Spelljammer. So a couple people have now confirmed that September of last year is when Spelljammer came out. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, but this is Hasbro stock, and Spelljammer is just one product, you know. And we're talking about, and if you look at Magic the Gathering sales and how much money Magic the Gathering makes compared to Wizard, like D&D stuff, Magic the Gathering makes way more money than D&D stuff. So to attribute this tank of stock to Spelljammer doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. That seems more like correlation than causation to me personally, because you're just one little tiny product out of like lots of them, you know. Dungeon of Terror says, I think their toys sales face tanked around then. Okay, that's interesting. All right. Anyway, I don't know what else we want to say about that topic. I did find a cool Reddit post that I thought was cool. So I literally did before we talk about the Reddit stuff, I should probably say, We have a Kickstarter going on right now, Lairs of Legends 2. These are the alt covers right here. There are 2 books, Lairs of Legends 2 and Loot and Lore 2. Each of these books is over 300 pages. They're probably going to be pushing the 400 page mark, especially Lairs and Legends 2. That book right there has over 30 adventures in it, spanning levels 1 to 20. Loot and Lore 2 has over 100 monsters in it, brand new monsters you've never seen before. You could murderize your wonderful, beautiful dear players with. Puzzles, traps, standalone encounters, new rule sets, and magic items, and other cool stuff. So there's a link down in the description where you can go check this out, learn more, and back it. Remember, we have special Kickstarter exclusive pricing going on right now. We got things bundled up. If you want to get the most bang for your buck, backing this project now during the Kickstarter is the way to go. We also have a giveaway going on tonight. There's a link down in the chat. We'll be giving away $50 DM Lair store credit. So feel free to, it's free and you might win. Just click the link and sign up for the giveaway. We'll draw the winner at the end of the live stream. How would you DM for optimizers? I would just optimize myself, baby. Look, you know, it's not hard. If I have players that make super strong characters and PCs, will you stop biting me? I'm gonna bite you back. I will bite you back. I just ramp everything up, you know? Like, okay, you guys are all super optimized. That's great. My monsters attack twice now instead of once. Their multi-attack gets an extra attack on top of it. Their to hit modifier goes up by like a +2 or something. The DCs are now up. Instead of the DC being 15, the DC is 17. Like, I just ramp things up. Like, this is like, as soon as you see that if this is the game the players are playing, that's fine, you know, because you can just play the same game. And if they're all super over optimized, then you just optimize your stuff and you bump it up a little bit. You know, I mean, that's the way the game is. Like, the game is made to be in a somewhat sort of a balance. And if your players are upsetting that balance by doing all this, looking up things on Reddit and YouTube videos about the most powerful crap and combos and doing all this stuff, you know, and over optimizing, then as the game master, you just boop, 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 you bump things back up again. That's all you got to do. You want to make sure that you want the game to be challenging. So there needs to be a fluctuation between like things that are easy and things that are hard, right? You don't want the entire game to be super hard, where the players are constantly like beating their heads against the wall, unable, barely, losing all the time, and oh man, that is going to be a gruel fest. You don't want that. You want some encounters to be easy. You want some to be in the middle. You want some to be hard. You want that fluctuation of encounter difficulty in your adventures, in your games, right? You want that for a variety of reasons. So you don't want to, if your players are super good optimizers, don't bump everything up. Don't get nutsy, right? Let them steamroll some crap. And then other things, you bump it up. Like, I'm playing a level 20 D&D game right now, and these guys can pretty much steamroll almost anything except for the things that I'm like, boop, 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 boop. Like, this is a case in point. Last game session, they were fighting some werewolves, but they thought they were werewolves. I think they did. And they were fighting these werewolf things, and the base monsters that they were fighting were these little wussy CR5s. Like, that my players are level 20. There are 5 of them, level 20, and they're fighting CR5s. So yeah, they're mopping them up. Those CR5s were wusses, complete wusses. And so my players are just demolishing them. That was intended. They weren't supposed to be a challenge. And then, but I was getting ready for like the leader werewolf to come, you know, like the pack leader. And then as they were wiping up all these little underling werewolves, I was kind of looking at the stat block for my leader werewolf, and I was like, this isn't gonna cut it. This leader werewolf is gonna be a pushover. My players are never destroy and demolish this leader. And so like, I'm running the fight of the underlings, and at the same time I'm looking at my stat block that the monster hasn't been introduced yet, but it's about to get introduced. And I'm like, this isn't gonna cut it. This is too weak. And so I was making some notes about, I'm gonna change that, I'm gonna up that, I'm gonna up that, and I'm gonna up that. And I ended up, by making a few on-the-fly tweaks, I ended up with a fight that was pretty challenging. They won in the end, but it wasn't a cakewalk. So, but that's what, so like my point is that let them steamroll some stuff, let it be a cakewalk. Other things, like, beef it up as needed, you know, and that's the balancing act you do as a game master. And sometimes you don't, like, sometimes you have the time to do it before the game starts. Other times you might do it mid-game. You know, it doesn't really matter when you tweak stuff. You do want to tweak stuff in such a way that your players don't notice that you're doing it. Like, if you describe an enemy as half dead and then all of a sudden it has tons of hit points, it's going to be obvious, right? Unless you somehow make it, unless you have some mechanic whereby it drinks a potion and is fully healed or something. I don't know. But you don't want to change things in such a way that your players notice it happening, right? Because then it's obvious that you want the smoke and mirrors. You want there to be that that sense of like, oh geez, this is just really tough. You're doing so. Uh-oh. I think my stream is crashing. Oh yeah, it's totally crashing on me. Of course it is, because my internet sucks. Well, that's fun. This says excellent connection. No, it doesn't. It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I play this game all the time with my internet provider. No, it's not YouTube. It's my stupid internet. That's what it is. They are literally, I got a notice that they're installing fiber optic internet cable in my neighborhood. And I crap you not, the day that that is installed, I am changing my internet service to the new provider. Oh man, I'm gonna change so fast. I am sick of I don't have Comcast either. I have WoW. But it is so stupid garbage. Meepy says the real reason I come to streams is to watch the pupper sleep soundly. Let's go check out the pupper. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hey, there we go. There we go. Just sleeping. Diaper doggy. Oh, by the way, you can see it. Here we go. See those boxes? Those boxes on the part of the screen where there are boxes showing. Those boxes right there are my new bookcases. Your head's in the way. Your head's in the way. All right, thank you. You're good. My bookcases over there, I have new ones. They're in those boxes. Now I just have to assemble them and put them up. And then I can get my books back. I haven't had any books over there for 3 months? 3 months or so? I don't know, it's been a while. What's the best way to get a question answered? Carter, the best way to get a question answered is to throw it in chat, put like a hashtag question in all caps and throw it in chat. And when I see those, I try to answer them. Greg says, I hear an unplugged device sound. What does that mean? Are you saying from me? Brian says, hey Luke, just want to say your channel has been really helpful. Brand's Love is a new DM. Super thankful for all the free content, and also your pets are really cute. Thank you, dude. I appreciate that. I'm glad I can help, man. I try to put out useful content, and videos will help people, so I appreciate that, dude. Fiber's the way to go. Yeah, dude, I'm gonna get fiber internet the moment I got it. One's at IKEA. Yeah, they're IKEA. Yeah, it's the only way I can find what I need. Like, I can go to like furniture store after furniture store looking for furniture, and I can't find what I actually want. IKEA, I can usually find what I need. How would you rule Mr. Fantastic stretching an arm, grappling someone, and reeling them in? Are they dragging them using their movement, or would it be an opposed strength check? Oh, it's definitely an opposed strength check. It's an opposed check for sure. It's not their movement, no. Yeah, it's all strength for sure, 100%. How do you deal with DM burnout? I've been running a game for a year and I find it hard to prep, but I still love the game and want to play. Usually the best thing I can recommend for DM burnout is taking a break. Take a break, stop prepping, stop playing, take a break. Ideally, if you can get one of your players to run a one shot that takes like 2 or 3 sessions, or maybe some of your players can run just, you know, each one of them runs a game, you know, and so you get like a couple months off where you can just kind of relax. You don't have to prep, you don't have to think about it, you don't have to run the game. And then usually, I've found at least, that usually gets me excited to play again. Once I've not had to prep and had to do the GMing thing for a while. For whatever reason, for me personally, that charged my batteries up and I'm excited to go again. That's one of the things that helps me deal with DM burnout. I think the other thing that I think helps me deal with DM burnout is somehow thinking about or connecting with the parts of the game that I really enjoy. And I don't even know if this even makes sense, but if I think about my Pathfinder 2 game, the stuff that gets me excited to run that game, it's like, I like designing the adventures and planning out the adventures. And then I really like my group I play with. Like my Pathfinder 2 players, we have so much fun when we're together, just laughing and playing the game. So I think that's super helpful. I look forward to, we're playing this Sunday. I look forward to every single one of my Pathfinder 2 games. I mean, I like the system obviously, but I love the players I play with. They're just a crazy fun group to play with. And we're in person too. We're in person, which makes the world of difference. Oh my gosh. Online just does not cut it. So I look forward to those games and how much fun we're going to have. And I love preparing the adventures. And I don't know, I just try to, there are things I don't enjoy about it, but I try to focus on the things I do enjoy and spend as much time as I can doing the things that I enjoy about the game. So I don't know if that's helpful or not, but there are some times that I get burnt out, and either taking a break or really focusing on like, this is the part of the game that I enjoy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what's helped me at least. No, Matthew, I'm not gonna talk about that. I got some homebrew ideas for martial characters. What do you think? Shield's armor class now only gives +1. Normally you can use your reaction to add +2 to armor class to the start of your turn. Total of a +3 armor class. Well, Joe's got more. It sounds like to me you're doing some home brewery that sounds a lot like Pathfinder 2. Like in Pathfinder 2, shields don't do anything to your armor class until you use an action to raise your shield. And then they add a +2 to your armor class. And then if you use a reaction to, once you've raised your shield, if you use your reaction to block, then your shield will reduce some of the incoming damage. So you're starting to home brewery stuff along the lines of Pathfinder 2, which, I mean, it's solid. Something like that is solid for sure. Get big fluffy bucket. So, I mean, I think it's cool. You might use you're saying use your reaction to get a +2 to armor class. You could also make it a bonus action maybe to get a +2. You got to charge some sort of action economy, that's for sure. I don't know what it would be. In Pathfinder 2, it's easy because you get 3 actions, so just one of them is to raise your shield, and you're done. You are very welcome, Ubio. I'm happy to help, dude. Question, my player likes playing a Grung. Grung can high jump 15 feet. How would you rule fall damage? I wouldn't hurt him on his own jump, but if he falls off a cliff, should he nullify 15 feet of fall? Yes, I think so. Like, if a Grung can jump 15 feet high, that means that its legs and the muscles and sinew and all the whatever mechanical junk it's got going on there can absorb 15 feet of fall, right? So if it jumped off a cliff that was 45 feet of a fall, then 15 feet of that should be absorbed by its legs, and it would only take 30 feet of falling damage. That seems completely reasonable to me. Panzer says, I'm tempted to make the transition to Pathfinder 2E for my own games, but I have to rework so many homebrewed things. Yeah, the great thing is, this is very interesting. I'm going to tell you something. So one of the things that my team and I do is we create homebrew content. Like, it's one of the things that tends to appeal to lots of people for 5th edition D&D. Like, if you create homebrew content for 5th edition D&D, people jump all over it a lot of times. But every time we create something for 5th edition, we're like, well, can we make this in Pathfinder 2? And we're like, Pathfinder 2 already has this, so we really can't. And that's happened so many times where we're just like, this thing would be great for 5th edition, and Pathfinder 2 has already got it. And, so I would wager a guess. I obviously I don't know all the things you've homebrewed, but Pathfinder 2 is a very well designed and thought out game system. I would wager a guess that a lot of the things that you've had to homebrew for 5th edition may already exist in Pathfinder 2, and especially if you were homebrewing in response to correcting some other game design for 5th edition, you might not have to do for Pathfinder 2. So, pick up the book, the remastered books are out. Pick them up. Pick up the core player book, maybe the GM book, and start reading them. And I don't know. Shoot, if you're a lot into homebrew, then maybe homebrew is something you like doing. And here's the thing, like, if you like homebrew, so it depends. There are two types of homebrewers, right? Or let's generalize a little bit. There's the person who homebrews because something is broken. Like, you're like, okay, we're playing D&D 5th edition, but all this stuff is like broken. I don't like it, whatever. And so you're homebrewing to fix the system. And the other type of person that homebrews is the system is fine, but they homebrew because they want to, because it's fun, because they want to do these cool things, right? And so any of the homebrew that you've had to do to fix the system, you won't need to do for Pathfinder 2, generally speaking. And the things that you've homebrewed to make it cooler, well, if you're homebrewing it to make it cooler, then, you could probably just do that same homebrew for Pathfinder 2, and you might enjoy doing it as well. So, I don't know, but it'll be more work, but if it's something you enjoy, then is it really work, is the question. For the spell Spirit Guardian, how would you rule the area it affects? For large or huge or gargantuan caster, it's 15 feet radius. It's 15 feet away from the person. So if the caster occupies a 3x3 square, I would say that it reaches out 3 more squares, 15 feet away from them. Like, I would not measure the 15 feet from the center of their square. So if they're a large, or if they're a huge or a gargantuan, do not measure the 15 feet from the center. I would measure the 15 feet from like the edge of their square, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you could have a gargantuan caster with Spirit Guardians, and the Spirit Guardians is smaller than their own square and couldn't affect anybody at all. So that's the way I would rule that. Neil Henderson, thank you, dude. I appreciate that. You're very welcome, man. Question, what if none of the PCs pick a healer? Do you give them a cleric NPC, give out more health potions, or let it play out? Well, I've probably done every single one of the things you've suggested, actually. Give them a cleric NPC. I'm sure I've done that before. Give them more health potions. I've absolutely done that before. And I make health potions in my games very easy to buy. They're very readily available, and it just takes a bonus action to drink them. Or I let it play out. I've probably done that before. Like, you guys don't have a healer, you're screwed. But I've done a mix of all of those things. I think my current practice is just to have readily have access to healing potions. Like, you can pretty much buy them almost as many as you need, almost within reason, and then drink them as a bonus action. Isle of Dread, ever finished that one? I sure haven't. No, I'm not super familiar with that one either. I've heard of it, obviously, but I've not read it nor played it. What do you think of my campaign idea of a green dragon wanting revenge against local heroes, using a false hydra to erase them from people's minds too? You know, here's the thing. It doesn't matter what I think. Here's the only thing that matters. Whatever your campaign idea is, whatever it is, the only thing that really matters is if you are excited about it. And if you like the idea and you have a way and have thought out how you're going to implement this thing in such a way that your players are going to have fun playing that campaign and playing those adventures, that's really all that matters. It doesn't matter. The details doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Are you excited about it? Do you think your players are going to have fun doing it? That's really all that matters. You know, because I could tell you that, oh, that's a stupid idea. But who cares what I think? You know, I could tell you that it's a wonderful idea. But if you don't want to do it and your players think they're not going to be excited about it, you know, then it could flop. So my opinion on whether your campaign idea is good or not is really irrelevant. Like, I think the most important thing, like I said, you should be motivated. You should think that this is a cool idea. I really want to run this campaign. I love this. I want to roll with this. I want to flesh this out. You should be gung-ho about it, and you should pitch it to your players too. Pitch the campaign idea to your players. Now, obviously, this is something I do for all of my games now. Like when I'm starting a new game, I will pitch the campaign idea to my players. I want to make sure that my idea for the campaign is something that they are on board with, that they want to do as well. When I pitched my Pathfinder 2 campaign to my players, it's called Thieves Abound, is the name of the campaign. I sent them an email, a campaign pitch. It gave them a general idea of what the campaign was about. Now, I didn't mention like details about things that they should not know. Like for instance, it's possible that the green dragon, like your players won't know that a green dragon wants revenge against them. So don't tell them that, obviously, you know, but you want to give them some ideas, you know, about something that what you think will give them an overall impression of what the campaign would be like. And then you want to present it in such a way, present it in such a way that, you know, will be appealing to them. And obviously when you implement the campaign, make it appealing too. Don't just like, you know, false advertise it and then be like, aha, bait and switch, baby. It's actually, you're not gonna like this, but I made you think you're gonna like it. Hey. So do a pitch, make sure they're on board. Definitely do that for sure. All right, I'm gonna get some more tea. I have a video I'm gonna play for you. I have no idea what's in this video, but here you go.
Hi, Barbarian here. Are you enjoying this content? Would you like to have me guilt trip you really quick? Because here's the thing. My team and I work really hard to create all this content. The videos, the stupid shorts, the TikTok garbage, these Q&A live streams, the adventure creation live streams, all of the stuff, all of the free Dungeon Master resources on the DMLair.com and Lair magazine, which is just amazing and beautiful. Anyway, here's the problem. My team doesn't work for free, and Mrs. Barbarian always wants me to take her out to eat, like every single day almost. And I mean, I like Olive Garden and Texas Roadhouse, but all of those margaritas get really expensive. And you know, if I don't pay the people on my team, they just kind of stop working. I don't get it. Anyway, here's how you can help me help you. Basically, you can just take a whole bunch of cash, you know, put it into an envelope and mail it. No, wait, hold on. Let me think about that. No, you know what? This is the 21st century. Just give me your credit card number. Okay, forget all of that. My lawyers have advised me to instead request that you become DM Lair patrons at the link below. I mean, it still allows you to send me money, but it's legal and you get cool stuff in return. For instance, every month you'll get a new issue of Lair magazine, which contains tons of Dungeon Master resources like adventures, puzzles, traps, monsters, magic items, and more. You see, I'm not just asking for a handout, which is what a lot of people do with their Patreons. I'm actually going to give you stuff in return. So yeah, just, you know, kind of click that link below and become a DM Lair patron, you know, so I can stop putting my foot in my mouth. Thank you.
All right, back. It's time. Whew. Oh, look at this. Lemon ginger with probiotics. Is there an expiration date? Does tea expire? Yes, there is. There are numbers on here. I don't think it's these numbers don't, it's just like a lot number. There's some numbers on there, but it doesn't do it doesn't mean anything. This won't focus. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I got some tea. Rachel, hello, how you doing? All right. Can you answer the next question as Gary? Maybe. I gotta die first. T-Bird, what's up, dude? As far as converting monsters, items, etc. from D&D to Pathfinder 2, do you have advice or materials or know of sites or something to help with that? I am Camp Homebrew. So we just pay people to convert stuff from 5th edition to Pathfinder 2. I don't know. Is there a thing that does that? Let us do a Google search. Let's just see if we can figure this out. So convert 5e monster to PF2e monsters. Oh, look at this. There's a video. Somebody has a video. Okay, so check this out. There's a video how to convert a D&D 5e monster to Pathfinder 2. I literally had Mark Seifter on the stream, and he and I talked about doing that. So you can go watch that video, obviously. I don't know if there's a useful converter, but what I will tell you is this. The Pathfinder 2 rules for monsters are laid out in their Game Master Guide, obviously, and they're very straightforward. They're much easier to use than the D&D 5th edition ones. So I think that you'll probably find that it's not too bad to do them. But I don't know if there's an actual site where you can plug it in and have it auto convert. And the other thing is, too is that you can't just one-to-one convert a monster. Like, you can't say that in 5th edition D&D it's a CR3 monster, therefore in Pathfinder 2 I'm going to make it a level 3 monster. You can't do that. You have to take into consideration, like, remember, so 5th edition D&D uses bounded accuracy, Pathfinder 2 doesn't. So 5th edition D&D, things scale very slowly and then they kind of cap out. In Pathfinder 2nd edition, it's just, it's a linear, I think it's linear, I'm pretty sure it's linear. It's a linear scaling of everything. And so you can't just do a one-to-one, like, you know, CR5 becomes a Pathfinder 2 level 5. You can't do that. You have to take into consideration what level the players are, what level the adventure is for, etc. You know, that type of stuff. So it's not as straightforward as all that. So people are saying that tea goes stale. Oh, well, it's a good thing I drink tea a lot. I don't think it's going to go stale because I drink it so much. M Short says you can get paid to do that. I've been converting 5e and Pathfinder 2e for free. Oh yeah, you can get paid to do it. People like me who publish books pay for people to do that. Absolutely. We absolutely pay for people to do that. You have to be good at it. Like, whoa. You got elbowed a little bit there, buddy. But yeah, we totally pay for that. Did you spoke about Cynthia Williams resigns? I mean, there wasn't much to speak about. Yeah, she resigned. We don't know a whole lot. Quarterly earnings come out next Wednesday. They're probably not gonna look that great. And she probably knows that, and so she's getting out while the getting's good, or the board asked her to step down or something. Like, I don't know. Nobody knows anything. It's just really speculation town at this point. Nobody knows who the new CEO of Wizards of the Coast is going to be. Yeah, nobody knows anything. I mean, I could have made a 15-minute video on it, except that I have work to do. And there's nothing to say anyway. J-Beans, thank you for the super chat, dude. How do I stop to smell the roses as a DM? I rush. Enjoy the journey. Life is a journey, not a destination. This is one of the things. So I have this journal that I write in. And one of the things I have at the very beginning is, I'm pretty sure, there we go. So I have a whole bunch of quotes that I've written at the beginning of my journal. And every time my journal fills up, I rewrite these quotes at the front of the journal again. And this one right here is, there we go. Life is an adventure, not a destination. Enjoy the day-to-day journey. That is something that I try to remember, okay? Life is an adventure, not a destination. Enjoy the day-to-day journey, okay? What else do I have in here? This is something I screw up every day. I still screw this up. Don't overcommit what you can do in a day. I screw that up every day of my life. Every day. This is a cool one too. I like that one. Happiness and overall satisfaction in life happen in every present moment. Happiness is today, not tomorrow. So, but the idea of life being an adventure, not a destination. Enjoy the day-to-day journey. I am a completer. So one of the things that, for my personality type, one of the things that I really enjoy, one of the things that makes me feel really good is getting stuff done. Whenever I get something done, I feel a sense of accomplishment. I'm like, yes, I got that done. So if I prepped for the game, if I got the adventure done, if I proofread this thing, or I have a bunch of tasks I have to do for my business, when I get those things done, I feel a sense, I'm like, oh, I got it done, yes. And when I get to the end of a day and I've accomplished a lot of stuff, I feel really good about myself. And so I have a lot of focus on getting stuff done. But what gets lost in that is enjoying the day-to-day, enjoying the journey, right? Like how, like so you wrote an adventure, that's great, but were you enjoying writing the adventure? Were you having fun doing it? Because it can be very enjoyable to write an adventure, to prep for either to write an adventure that I'm going to publish or to prep for a game. It can be enjoyable to do that, right? But were you more focused on getting it done, or were you enjoying the process? And so one of the things that I remind myself is enjoy the day-to-day, enjoy the process, you know, and have fun doing that. And I think that the trick is really just to keep that top of mind and to think about that, you know, and then just enjoy the process, enjoy the thing you're doing, you know, and try not to rush. Which is another one of the things that's literally at the beginning here, you know. So there's this idea of no hurry, no pause. So don't hurry, don't rush, just don't take big breaks. Just slowly plug away, you know. And luxury is the idea of not rushing and not being stressed. Be the turtle, not the rabbit, you know. Just don't rush, don't stress, just slowly plug away and you'll get the thing done. And you'll get the thing done, you know. Tea goes stale, especially if not well sealed, but it's quite unlikely to become dangerous to drink. Ultimately, it ends up like drinking hot water. Why do players cry when you change up the module? As in changing the maps, replacing a cave that the module didn't have. I don't know. I mean, I've been in games like that where the game master has changed something and the players get upset about it. But it's the game master's prerogative to change things as they see fit. And the modules that you buy are just guidelines. The monsters are guidelines. Everything can be changed. Like, I mean, I wouldn't start changing like player options and classes and stuff, because then you're kind of screwing your players over. But like monsters and modules and adventures and maps, like that is all within the game master's wheelhouse to change however they want. So why players get upset about that? You got me, dude. You got me. I mean, maybe you could argue that expectations weren't set, that players don't know that that's within the GM's wheelhouse or something, or I don't know. There's could be so many different reasons. When you make notes for DMing, do you write out what you will say in a conversation, or just ad-lib the entire back and forth between players and NPCs? This guy's hungry. He's hungry. What I usually do is I ad-lib. I almost 100% ad-lib conversation. I have a general idea of what my NPCs want, what their goals are, what their motivations are, what they care about. And then based upon that, I just make up what they're going to say. And then the conversation plays out. Sometimes I will make out bullet point notes about what an NPC might say, or the information that they have, or other points I want to remember. It's a mix of the two, between having some bullet points and then just making stuff up. It depends on how major or minor the NPC is. Obviously, minor NPCs get almost nothing, and major ones are going to have a few bullet points. But I definitely don't write out word for word anything. I think that is a little bit crazy to write out a word for word conversation. I don't think that would work super well. I told you I was going to bite you if you keep biting me. Didn't I tell you that? So I wouldn't write out word for word for sure. Augusta, will you stop it? He doesn't like that. He's got bad breath. He's got bad breath. Augusto says the last session I DM'd was a disaster. It started off amazing with the introduction of a great NPC. The middle was a fun combat, and then I made the worst mistake, resulting in the death of 2 PCs. Why? What did you do? Why? So, I'd like to know what happened, because 2 PCs dying does not a game session a disaster make. The entire party dying does not a game session disaster make. In fact, it's quite normal for PCs to die, and it's probably quite normal every so often for a TPK to happen, like it happens. So I would not classify a game session as a success or a failure based upon the number of PCs that die or don't die. I think those are bad metrics overall to judge your game by. But I'd be interested in knowing more. How to keep adventures in enclosed dungeons versus wilderness. All I think of is caves and dwarf holes for dungeons. Do Google map searches, dude. This is how you do it. So you come over here to Google. Ooh, wee, Google time. All right, so you come over here. D&D dungeon map. Images. There we go. Start browsing these things. Get some ideas. Okay. Here's a map. I don't know what that is. So here, get some map ideas, you know? Some dungeons, I don't know. Just start looking at maps and stuff and getting some ideas. And then sometimes these things will tell you what it is or something, but I don't know. I would just browse for stuff. The thing is that, like, your creativity doesn't really usually work very well in a box. You normally got to reach outside your own head to like stoke your creativity a little bit. And so when I'm struggling with I need creative ideas, I'll do a Google search. This is one of the things that like ChatGPT is good for, is like brainstorming ideas for stuff. Like literally type into it and be like, I'm writing an adventure for Pathfinder 2, and like it's like a dungeon, it's an enclosed location. I don't want it to be like in dwarven ruins, and I don't want it to be in a castle. Give me like 15 ideas for where the adventure could take place, and it will literally brainstorm for you 15 different, it'll be like boom, bullet points. It'll give you 15 bullet points of possible locations to kickstart things. And then you can read through it and be like, ooh, I like that one. I like that one. Dude, that's what it's for. It's for research. Brainstorming and research, it's great at that crap. Great at that crap. Robert Christian says, where can people buy the DM Lair t-shirts? I see Teespring LairCon shirts, but none like what you're wearing. Are they available for sale? I mean, I think we have them on Teespring. I'm pretty sure they are. I don't talk about them a whole lot because nobody buys the stupid things. And I don't blame them. But yeah, we have them on Teespring. See, here's the thing. Teespring, despite being the official merch partner of YouTube, sucks. It absolutely sucks. Like, Setting up their site sucks. The back end sucks. Like everything about working with Teespring is absolutely miserable and horrible. It's really crappy. A lot of this is interesting. I've found that this is what happens a lot of times when you have a very big, well-established company, and then they make a deal with another, I guess, well-established company to do a thing. Like you have YouTube and Teespring making a deal. Well, I've just seen this happen over and over again, where usually like these official partnerships, like they're not always because it's a good company or a good like service or something. It's because people in the C-suite knew each other, and they're buddies or something, and they made a pitch and somebody's getting a kickback, or somebody's going to be on the board of directors when they get out of that gig because there's a little promise here and that stuff. I don't know, dude. Like there's some like, some there's some C-suite shenanigans that happen a lot of times when companies make these deals. So, and you probably know that. So like Teespring sucks. So I don't really do much over there. I know that these shirts are on there. It might be hard to find them on their site because their site sucks. Of course, I haven't been on there for years, so maybe they don't suck anymore, but I don't know. They were so bad when I first got on there that I haven't looked at them in a while. I do pop in there like once a year to see if I have a balance and then get like $200 or something. I know they're on there. This is literally, this shirt here is from Teespring. It's literally printed out. I ordered it for myself. Uh-oh. Carter Dale says, I think The Secret Art of Game Mastery and So You Want to Be a Game Master might be some of the best books about running and thinking about RPGs I've seen. Okay, so I want to talk about that. Give me a second, Carter. These books, those books. Alright. Okay, so I have all these books. I make these books right here. This is The Secret Art of Game Mastery. So I make these books. And then I have this book right here. So what I'll say is these books are pretty complementary. So if you look at Secret Art of Game Mastery, and then you look at So You Want to Be a Game Master. And I say they're complementary because So You Want to Be a Game Master seems to focus very heavily on mechanics of doing certain things, like the mechanics of a heist, or I think they talk about mysteries in here too. I haven't read that part of it yet. They probably talk about mysteries. Yep, they got a whole thing on mysteries and some other stuff. They have dungeons in here. So lots of mechanics. So this is hardcore into mechanics, and does a great job of it. Secret Art of Game Mastery. What this book does is there are some mechanics in here, but this book focuses a lot on the soft skills of game mastering, the soft skills. And because what I have found that when I have had either and this is my own personal experience, when I have had an outstanding game or a crappy game, it's usually not the mechanics that, like, when I've had a game master that's been really great or really bad, it's usually not their mechanics that make them a good or bad game master. Now, they need mechanics. You gotta know how to make a dungeon. You gotta know how to do these certain things, right? But a lot of times, what I've found is that when I think of like a bad game master I've had, it's because he didn't have soft skills. His soft skills, his human skills sucked. They sucked, right? And he didn't know how to manage the table. He didn't know how to do these other things. Like, he might know how to make a great dungeon and his monsters were really cool and stuff, but there were other intangibles that he lacked a lot of, you know? And so what my team and I made this book, we were specifically focusing on, so a lot of this book is these soft skills. Now there are mechanics in there, you know, things about how to, you know, villains and dungeons and maps and stuff. Like there are mechanical stuff in here, but a lot of this stuff focuses on more of the soft skills as well. And because that's something that I have found that especially like if you pick up any like Dungeon Master guide for 5th edition, you know, a lot of what they focus on is the mechanics of how do you set up a campaign, how do you make an adventure, and all these types of things. But many times, like the mechanics will get you, it's like the mechanics will get you 20% of the way there, but you really need those soft skills to take your game the rest of the way to have it really shine. So that's what we were going for with this. So it's much less mechanic focused, right? Now, this is, I love this book too. I haven't read all of it, but this is great for mechanics and stuff. And I think these are complementary books. So you get this to get your mechanics top notch, and then you get Secret of Game Mastery to do like soft skills and stuff, which are super important and oftentimes like ignored, it seems like, in a lot of the books that I am aware of, and obviously I am aware of this many of the books that are published in the TTRPG industry, so I don't know them all, obviously. I kind of live in a box because I'm really busy working and stuff. But most of the books that I've seen, read, or have on my shelves are very heavily mechanic focused. And so I think that there is a lot to be said about learning those soft skills and how to manage a table, how to deal with problem players, and how to all of these things, you know, how to schedule game sessions for success. There are all these little tiny things that, like, it doesn't matter how great your game is, you know, if your games always fizzle and fall apart because scheduling issues, you know, or you always have a problem player that causes the good players to leave, you know, these things that it's like, it doesn't matter how well you design dungeons if your group falls apart, you know, because then nobody's playing. So I think there's you need to have both of those things, you know, for a successful game. Oh, here's Switch chat. Ooh, where's my tea? T-Bird says, what is or are your favorite things about Pathfinder 2 outside of the rule structure and assisting DMs way better? Might be a hard question. I like the monsters more. I don't know how to explain it. I just like the monsters more. I think the monsters are more interesting. I think the monsters are more fun. 5th edition monsters kind of bore me, except for Tome Beasts. Like Cobalt Press's monsters and Tome Beasts 1, 2, and 3 Creature Codex, their monsters are pretty solid. But for whatever reason, Pathfinder 2 monsters are just more interesting to me. Here's the problem. You're literally asking me, what about Pathfinder 2 outside of the rule structure and assisting DMs way better? Like, that's all that Pathfinder 2 is. Like, Pathfinder 2 is a game system. It's the rules, right? So, like, if there's something I'm gonna like about it, it's gonna have to do with, like, the mechanics of the game system, you know? So, like, your question excludes, like, most of the potential answers, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it's a really hard question, because most of what I would say would just be thrown out because it falls within those things you wanted me to exclude. But, I don't know. There's a lot of things I like about it. I like how I can create encounters that are challenging and can be very deadly and very brutal and very fast, and it's not hard to do that. Whereas in 5th edition, it's harder to do that. I have to stray way outside the rules to make something in 5th edition that's actually brutal or challenging. Maybe I should feed the cat. I know, maybe I should. What breed is Squeaky? His behavior is like our cat Dexter. I don't know. Squeaky is he just needs attention all the time. I mean, I don't know what he is. He's just a cat. I don't know my breeds of cats. He's off the streets. We got him off the streets. So Augusto says, okay, this is why 2 people died in your session. It was a genuine mistake. I used the opportunity attack rule completely wrong, resulting in a monster attacking when it shouldn't have. And I was completely unaware that one of them had only 4 hit points. Nah, it doesn't. Okay, so first of all, messing up an opportunity attack, sure, that's a mistake in a game rule. But being unaware that only one of them had 4 hit points, nah. That is not on you. Like, I don't care how many hit points my players' characters have. It doesn't matter. My monsters are gonna attack them regardless. Like, if I got a player who's only got 4 hit points, first of all, I don't ask my players how many hit points they have. I don't care. I just go at it, man. And if I do hear table chatter though. And so like players will be telling each other, "Oh man, I'm really hurt, help me out." So technically, if you think about it, if you really wanted to roleplay your monsters well, when somebody's heavily injured, that's when you should attack. That's when you should really go after them because they're almost ready to go down and you want to take them out because they're dealing damage, they're doing bad stuff. The faster you can take them out of that fight, the better. So you want to double down when somebody's injured if you really think about how you would want to roleplay monsters. So, but I don't think you should worry about not knowing that one of them had 4 hit points. I would not worry about that at all. Messing up a rule though, that happens. Jennifer Mizutani, hello, welcome to your first time here. What's the best way to get back into D&D if you haven't played it since the 80s? I loved the advanced Dungeons and Dragons version the best. I don't remember. So you want to know what my recommendation is if you want to get back into D&D and you haven't played it since the 80s? So, all right, I got a few recommendations. I would not pick up D&D 5th edition. I would not recommend you grab that book. So you can grab this book right here. This is Shadow Dark. It has rules that they're a cross between D&D 5th edition and maybe OSR or a lot of Dungeon Crawl Classic too. Like this book right here, I've read most of this except for the massive chunk that's about the spells. I've read most of this book here, and to me, Shadow Dark feels like a cross between D&D 5th edition and and Dungeon Crawl Classics and maybe some like OSR early edition type D&D stuff. Oh, he's going at it. Look at that. Yeah, baby. So, this is solid. This right here is very simple and quick to learn. The rules are basic and they're very fast to read and get going on. So you can get up and running very fast with this. And it has an old school feel to it, very old school feel, which if you've played back in the 80s and stuff, you probably are a little bit more old school and you'll probably like that. This game system here is more complex, and I think it's really cool, but it's more complex and not crazy complex, but it is more complex. And I've only ever played the what do you call it? The funnels where you're like a level 0 character and you kill a whole bunch of people. You get all your characters die. So I have never played this beyond a funnel, so I don't actually know what the gameplay of that would be like. Well, you're in the way, Squeaky. You're literally in the way of my live stream. And then this book here, like I love Pathfinder 2, but the rule complexity is fairly high. And so if you haven't played since the 80s and you're trying to get back into it, unless you love complex rules and that's your jam, I don't know that I recommend this to you necessarily for getting back into it, for the first time. It's an amazing game system, but you probably want to start off with something a little, maybe something that eases yourself back into it a little bit more. I don't know. It depends on what your tastes are. If you don't mind some complexity, or maybe if you love complexity, then Pathfinder 2 might be the way to go too. But those are some very solid options for you. You also have, Castles and Crusades. I'm not going to go get them, but I have my Castles and Crusades books as well. My Castles and Crusades books they're all based on an earlier edition of D&D. I forget what Castles and Crusades were like. Let me see if Google can tell me. What edition of D&D is Castles and Crusades based on? 3rd edition. Castles and Crusades is based on the 3rd edition of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay. So this says it was based on the 3rd edition of D&D. So that's not exactly your AD&D that you were playing, but anyway, there are some good places to start. I have Castles and Crusades books. I haven't read through them. I played in 3 Castles and Crusades games at conventions, and I thought they were pretty cool. I enjoyed them, but I haven't really read through the books a whole lot. I've been playing D&D since October of last year. Never been a PC, just DM'd. I'm running a game with 2 people that are also new to D&D. I feel like they have a trouble of knowing what to do. Yeah, you just help them out, give them suggestions here and there, you know? Like, it's hard. It's a balancing act because you don't want them to feel like, as the game master, you're like guiding them by the nose to do certain things, or that you're trying to push them in certain directions. So this is what I would do. If I had a group of new players, I would probably just level with them, and I would just say, hey guys, listen, you guys are all kind of new to this, and I am too, it's all good. So here's what we're gonna do. So I don't want you to feel like I'm trying to push you in certain directions or that I'm telling you to do certain things. But at the same time, I know that you guys sometimes aren't sure what you should do, or maybe you're not even sure what is possible, what you could do. And so this is what we're gonna do. When you guys just need some, like, you need like some help or some tips, or you want some, like, the little help screen, like in the video game where you're like, I don't know what to do, help button, and then some little tips or some pointers come up or something. Whenever you guys feel like you just need some help, just tell me, hey, Luke, we don't know what we should do here, or what are the possibilities, like any ideas, and then they can basically tell you when they want something, and then you just give them a few ideas or something. So I would probably just play it like that. Something like that would probably be the way to go, I think. They're not sure. Okay, you kept writing. They are not sure what they should do to complete any quests that they are given to them. I feel that I need to nudge them by having NPC randomly talk to them and giving them information they need. So, like, whenever you give a plot hook, the plot hook should really already tell them what the objective is, right? Like, the NPC comes up and says, the princess has captured my dragon. Go rescue my dragon, please. The dragon is over there in that tower, and the princess has evil monsters working for her. Please go rescue my dragon. That's the objective. The objective is to rescue the dragon. There you go. So the objective should be clear to them. Now, what they actually need to do along the way, that's up to your players to determine. And if your players are like, well, we have no idea what we would do to rescue the dragon, oh my gosh. Well, you can give them suggestions, like, well, hey guys, there's a lot of different ways you could go about this. Like, you could go in at night and just try to climb the outside of the tower, and maybe the dragon's near the top, maybe. Or you could try to get some information and intel about where the dragon is in the tower, and then try to rescue the dragon at some point. You guys could just kick down the front door and rescue the dragon, just beat everything up and rescue the dragon or something. Like, you could give them some ideas of possible approaches, but I don't know that I would have an NPC do it though. I feel like I would probably, as a game master, just out of character, give them some basic ideas of things they could possibly try. Because the moment that you have an NPC doing it, they're gonna wanna like grab that NPC and keep that NPC along for the ride. And then at every single juncture, they're gonna be like, hey, what should we do? Hey, Bob, what do you think we should do? Hey, what do you think we should do? Well, now we're here. What now? What now? So I don't think I'd give them that big of a crutch, And at some point, they gotta learn to just think of things and figure things out on their own and just try stuff, chat is totally making a mess up here. Dude, princesses in my game are nasty. You do not want to see the princesses in my game. I don't pay a dime to Wizards of the Coast, man. Nothing. Nothing. They get jack diddly squat from me. Oh, Chicken Chaser says they do drag the NPCs. You see? They drag them along and then keep peppering them for information. Yeah, you don't want that, man. Because then basically your players are missing out on like the fun of the game, which is their being able to decide what to do. You know what I mean? Yeah, so you don't want that. Players who ask to do things that aren't explicitly covered by the rules are my favorite. The ones who think outside the box to solve something. Yeah, those are fun. Okay, we have a giveaway going on, guys. Do not forget to sign up for the giveaway. Hopefully we got some links in the chat and stuff. And we're giving away $50 DM Lair store credit. And we're gonna draw the winners of the giveaway in just a few minutes. So click the buttons in the chat, go join the giveaway. It's 100% free. You'll get $50 DM Lair store credit. And we literally have back in stock, we now have back in stock our best-selling book, Layers and Legends 1, which we had sold out of completely, but reprints are literally this week, reprints are back in. So you can get Layers and Legends once again, 700 plus pages of crazy awesome stuff that you can put in your games. So these are back in stock, and we also have Into the Fae as well. This is our level 1 to 5 adventure module. So if you win the giveaway, then you'll get $50 DM Lair store credit, and you could go pick some of these up. Physical books are now back in stock, baby. Ooh, baby, baby, baby. Also, don't forget we have our Kickstarter going on, Layers and Legends 2. It is our follow-up to it. So this bad boy right here, we are getting close to our 225K stretch goal, which will unlock more puzzles for every single backer. So these big two fatties right here, you could add these to your shelves as well. These are the regular covers right here for our Kickstarter. And then these are the alt covers. These things are beautiful right there. So you can go take a look at those, take a gander at those too, if you would like. Is it possible to get a murder hobo to care about something besides murder? I mean, it depends on your murder hobo. Possibly not. I have a question. I wish to GM a low fantasy-ish setting. I don't mind the players using caster. Do you have any tips to make a low fantasy campaign? Low fantasy. So it sounds like you want there to be spell casting involved, but low fantasy means that there are fewer like monsters and different races and stuff. So elves and dwarves are out and monsters are out. So you kind of have, so you have a modern, so it sounds like what you're describing is a modern campaign setting with magic, right? Modern campaign with magic. So maybe we're talking about something like from the Middle Ages, only with magic, but there aren't like elves and dwarves and monsters and stuff. If that's what you're talking about, Greyhawk. I'm not super familiar with Greyhawk, but Greyhawk has like elves and dwarves and monsters in it and stuff. Shadowrun, yeah. Well, Shadowrun has monsters and stuff in it, but it's high tech too. It's like super high tech. Yeah, I don't think if you want to do a low fantasy campaign, I don't think D&D 5th edition or any of your standard game systems are what you want. Because like somebody pointed it out, Chris says it's a rule rewrite. Yeah, you're gonna have to modify the crap out of any of our fantasy game sessions. Like if you want to run a low fantasy like campaign, then you probably need a new game system, because you don't want to take a game system that's based on the idea of fantasy to run a low fantasy game, right? I'm not sure how well that would work. So there's probably a game system out there that's like that. Or you can just modify the crap out of things, is the other option. Shadowrun could be adapted to it relatively well. I could see that. I played Shadowrun for like a one-shot. But Shadowrun is like really high tech though. That's the only difference. Huh. Wayne Walker, hey, what's up, dude? Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel, buddy. Well, see, that's the thing. I don't know if they want a low fantasy world or a low magic world, because there's a big difference. There's a huge difference between low fantasy and low magic. Big difference. Like, if they're okay with the fantasy world, they just want it to be low magic. Well, that's simple. You know, you just say that there are no spells above second level. That's it. Magic goes as high as second level, and that's it. And if you're a spellcaster and you get to second level, you just can't progress past that, and then you have to take a different class, and you multi-class into something. And then that's easy. That's an easy solution. And then your monsters, you're gonna have to tweak a little bit so that they don't have higher level spells. That's a super easy fix, you know. But low fantasy is a different story. Dungeon Crawl Classic's not low fantasy though. There was the Princess Bride RPG. Oh, that's interesting. I'm not familiar with that one. There's a lot that I'm not familiar with. Cervix says, when I pitched my campaign, I said that casters might have it tough because of the campaign idea, and now some players are a bit annoyed at it. Should I continue pushing through or lessen it? I'd have a conversation with them. You gotta ask them, you know, what's going on, guys? This was the campaign idea. I had mentioned that it would be tough for casters, and now it seems like you guys aren't very happy with this. Like, what is it about the game that's making you unhappy? And start the conversation. You gotta understand what they're thinking, how they're feeling, and that type of thing. And then once you understand where they're coming from and why they're not happy with it and how they're feeling, you have to understand that before you can even try to come to a solution. Because if you don't understand what's going on in their heads, then anything you try to do to solve it may or may not be solving the problem. Because you're guessing at the problem. You see, like, you don't even, like, yeah. So you gotta have a conversation. You gotta figure out why they're upset. And then ask them, you know, so this is, I don't know, you got to figure out why they're upset. And then it's that I can't really talk you through the conversation, because what you do after you figure out why they're upset has everything to do with why they're upset. And I don't know why they're upset necessarily. Because is it because they're having a hard time as casters and they thought that it wasn't actually true or something, or maybe they like thought that they'd be fine with it, but now they're not fine with it. So I don't know. It always starts with the conversation though. No, I've never played the Star Wars RPG. No. I don't mind my players having normal D&D magic, but I want them to feel like they're in a low fantasy setting, like Game of Thrones or maybe even The Witcher. Yeah, then I discussed that, but it's my previous answer. Yeah. I mean, they probably feel like they're being nerfed or something. Yeah, but the expectation was set though. That's the thing. If the game master set the expectation that it was going to be hard for casters, and then it turned out that it was hard for casters, and now they're upset, it's like, guys, I kind of told you this. Why are you upset? You still have to talk about it, right? John says, I recently heard a YouTuber say that Pathfinder 2 has so many rules, it ties the DM's hands where they can be flexible. What's your take on it? I throw out those rules that I don't like. Like one of the parts of Pathfinder 2 that I just throw out almost completely are the social encounter rules. Like there, a lot of the skills have like all of these rules. Now in combat, it's a different story. We use the rules as written in combat because combat's always really heavy on mechanics. Outside of combat, they have like intimidation and coerce, and there are some other things. These skills have specific. I don't use those, man. I tried to for a little bit, but then I felt the exact same way. It was like it was tying my hands, and it was making it so that I couldn't just role play my guys. I couldn't role play my NPCs. So I was like, you know what? I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. We're gonna set those aside. Boop, 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 boop. All right, we're gonna have a conversation. You are gonna talk to my NPC. My NPC is gonna talk to you, and then at a certain point, I'm gonna ask for give me an intimidation check. Give me a performance check. Give me a diplomacy check. I'm gonna ask for a check, and then we'll see how well they do, and then I'll compare it to my DC by level, right, for my NPC, and then we'll see how they do, and then based upon their check, I will determine how my NPC reacts, whether it's a monster or whether it's a non-enemy character or whatever. I will just determine how I react. I'm gonna freeform this crap, right? And that's how I do it. And that's how I do it because I want the freedom. That's how I want to play my game. I don't want to have to play it all in combat. Totally different story. Combat, you want that rigid rules and stuff and the mechanics and that. I like that in combat. Outside of combat, I don't want that crap. I just want some free form, cool. We can interact, we can have fun. I can ask for some checks. I can make my own decisions about how my NPC reacts and stuff. That's what I want outside of combat, and I enjoy it that way. And so this is true for any game system. You just, the rules you don't like, you throw them out. You get rid of them, you know? All right, we're gonna do our giveaway now. Drawing the winner to our giveaway. Hey, Brandon. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're finding the content useful. When you were a new DM, what did you find to be the biggest hurdles to overcome or rules to fully grasp? I have no idea. I don't even remember. This was back when I was in high school, and I have a bad memory. I'm sure I screwed up a lot of stuff. I just don't remember. All right, let's do our giveaway. Let's find this sucker. Woo! Oh! You stole a Star Destroyer in the new Star Wars RPG? Dang. Hey, come on, let's go. Giveaway time. Draw my winner. All right. The winner is Jay from Arizona. Jay from Arizona. You are the winner, good sir. I will send you an email and we will get you hooked up with $50 DM Lair store credit to get something that you like. Squeaky's down here. He's got problems. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I am Dunzo. I'm going to bed. Have fun. Next week will be fun. Next week we can talk about Wizards of the Coast's quarterly earnings report and do some more wild speculation. I'm sure that there'll be more YouTube videos out too on people speculating about stuff. It's always fun. Always get some views, some clicks and views, baby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night. I will see you later. I'm trying to find my buttons. Buttons are hard. Ooh.